all. But here's the big one I want to talk about. Well, there's lots of big ones. But amidst the rugby league news from the weekend, we now have the State of Origin dates for next year locked and loaded, both women's and men's. And, of course, they're three-match series in both. The women's series will kick off at Suncorp on Thursday, May the 1st. The men's State of Origin series will kick off on Wednesday, May the 28th at Suncorp. The second men's match is in Perth on June 18, and the deciding match, potentially, in the series, the third game of the series, will be in Sydney on July 9. The women's game 3 will be in Newcastle on May 29. So the women's series is going to be played, matches all 2 weeks apart, will be completed in May. May the 1st, Brisbane. May the 15th at Allianz Stadium is getting an Origin game, women's Origin. That's big. And the third game is in Newcastle, May 29. But we break new territory here in the men. Is this the first time that we've confirmed the dates for an Origin series and we don't actually know who the coaches are? Well, we know Billy Slater's Queensland, but New South Wales do not have a coach. When are we going to get there, Matt? Have you got any mail? Something.
I don't know. I'm reading lots of opinions that it has to be a grizzled, heavy-hitting, experienced first-grade coach as opposed to someone who hasn't coached in the Origin arena before. But you're right, the Blues are yet to appoint their replacement for Michael Maguire, yet we have the 3 dates locked in stone. That was all part of the completion of Round 1, NRL 2025 being released over the weekend. We knew that Canberra were playing the Warriors in Vegas, so too Penrith against Cronulla. But the other 6 games were released over the weekend. Our first weekend of the season since the 2024 comp kicked off. And at least they gave us a little bit of burley, a little bit of food for thought and discussion.
On the Origin thing, see, in the past, like people would say, oh, well, there's still time. But the time goes very quickly. In the past, we've had emerging Blues camps over the summer where there is access to players. They get them together. So is that going to run this summer? They do get the sort of the nucleus of the squad together and they start conversations and talk. I just feel as if the coach needs to be announced by the end of this month. Certainly, I don't think we can go into next year without an Origin coach. I think it needs to be decided in the next couple of weeks. I am not in the Gus camp of NRL coach doing the job, so I'm not a Craig Bellamy, Ivan Cleary, Ricky Stewart man. And then I look at the whole host of other contenders, the Paul McGregor, Michael Ennis, Trent Barrett, Matt King. I am in the Trent Barrett camp. Now, I got shot down last week by a lot of people saying, oh, yeah, kid, and what about his record? Well, mate, Mal Meninga's record as a first-grade coach. I mean, he didn't exactly deliver the promised land to the Raiders. If you've actually gone along to training, Trent Barrett is actually loved by the players. Now, I can't explain the win-loss record, but I believe the qualifications, he ticks a lot of boxes in that I think he could coach a representative team. I think he would know what it's all about to get a team ready for such a series. And I don't know that I can come up with a better candidate right now than Trent Barrett. So I'm putting my chips in Trent Barrett to be the New South Wales Origin coach, and that Broncos, with their blessing, because he's an assistant at Brisbane, can you come up with a better candidate? I'm sure you can come up with an equal, but can you come up with a better candidate from outside the NRL head coaching ranks? Radio
is built on robust discussion, often argumentative discussion, but I'm not going to argue with you. And I am slightly biased because I've known Trent Barrett for a long, long time. I live in the same part of the world as Trent. I'm a big fan of Trent Barrett. He has had a rough time coaching at club level. I would love to see him coach the Blues. I would back him to be a success at the Blues. I think it might be just what Trent Barrett's career needs, successful representative tenure. And I reckon that if he can guide the Blues to success, it would win back some respect for his coaching, which I still have, and you still quite clearly have. But the broader rugby league community probably needs to have that increased. Here's a chance for Trent Barrett to do that. He's been there. He's very highly regarded by people like Phil Gould and other strong voices in the game. I don't know whether I want a club coach dipping out of Melbourne or Penrith or Canberra to coach Origin. I'd like to see Trent Barrett be given the job and go well at it. Have your say. Let us know what you say.
Well, on the text, here's a couple straight in, and this is great. Instant reaction on the SEN text line. What about Dean Pay? Dean Pay's been mentioned. What about Denny Badiris? Now, well, Denny Badiris, look, when I said, can you come up with the equivalent, maybe not better, Danny Badiris would be the equivalent as a candidate as Trent Barrett, but Trent Barrett is still with his hand in the coaching ranks, whereas Danny has stepped aside from that and became football manager. So I don't know whether Danny's ever been driven by the coaching bug. I know he got that little caretaker stint, but I don't know whether it's the burning desire of Danny to coach. I think you'd have to want to do it, to throw yourself into that pressure cooker. Jeff Tuvey, Matty, as the bus passed on Jeff, is it like he gets thrown up a lot? Does he get a go there?
Well, I'll go back to Dean Pay. I thought that Dean Pay was unlucky when he was shown the door at Canterbury. I thought he had the Canterbury team punching above its weight at the time, and that was proven subsequently when Dean Pay left, and there wasn't great improvement in the short term after his departure. I thought he was doing really well, and there's another candidate. I know that people aren't that fussed with me backing Trent Barrett, as Matt says on the text line. Matty's on the pipe, which means you are also on the pipe because you are also in the Trent Barrett corner. There are good options. There's no reason for Blues fans to be concerned. There are good options. You just got to come up with one. And quickly.
Well, 994 says New South Wales Rugby League is a schmozzle at times. And the fact they haven't already appointed a coach for New South Wales is ridiculous. Well, you probably could go that far as saying, because it's a very important position. And it's been allowed to position vacant. Like you've spoken about Laurie Daly and that, and then he's got his betting tie and deal there, and that can be a problem for that. But I just think I think the next 2 weeks, New South Wales, whoever's in charge, Dave Trodden, whoever, get inside a room, lock yourself in the room. You're not coming out until you've come up with a coach, and it's appointed before the end of the month.
Meatball on the text line says, Vossy, Matty, I'll bet my left hand that is, I assume, that it will be Laurie Daly for the Blues coach. So Meatball is backing Laurie Daly. He's been there before, Laurie. I'm sure he'd like another crack at it. And the texts are flowing in. Some in favour of our nomination, Trent Barrett. Others vehemently against it. Mick Potter, someone says, would be a good option. Boy, the list just gets longer and longer.
Just off the top of my head, Matty, have we had a situation, and maybe we haven't, and again, the listener will be the best researcher here, have we had a situation where the new coach is stepping into a Defender series? I'm just off the top of my head, I can't. Yeah. I'm in the off season, so my brain's not working. But has that happened before, where someone is replacing someone who's just won the series? So you're stepping into a job where you are series winner rather than series loser. Does that mean more pressure? Well, I don't know. When you're coming in, because the only way is down rather than up and onwards. But no, I'm putting Trent Barrett, and it's not because there's not a list of strong contenders. I think they're all decent contenders. Mick Ennis, to me, could do the job. I've no doubt about that at all. But I'd probably like Trent Barrett to have Mick Ennis as part of his coaching staff for the next series. That's where I'd introduce Mick Ennis into Origin. It'd be a stepping stone for Mick. And, of course, I'm a dear friend of Mick's, working with him at Fox League, and I hope he doesn't mind me having that opinion. But I wouldn't, parachute him or put him straight into the head coaching job. I would have him in the ranks, and Barrett could be the head coach of the Origin squad.
On the text line, it's 6 months away. Move on. So, yes, Origin is a long way away, but as you touched on, you need to be in place. You don't get
time at them. No. See, the season starts earlier now. The teams are locked away. Even getting filming days with the teams these days, it's harder because of Vegas and how we've set up the season now. So the New South Wales coach would want a decent crack and run up at getting them together. No, I think it needs to be sooner rather than later. Anyway, keep the texts coming. 0457 736 736.